Hello. I know it's a funny angle. Hold on, let me get set up on my other device and see if I can find myself. So, how's everybody doing? I needed a little project for today, and there I am. Let's see now. Let me turn my volume down. Let's see if this time when I do this, it will let me see comments. Hold on, let me find my little home for it. I got my ribbon order yesterday, and so I wanted to make something today. So, and I just want to check in with everybody and see how you're doing and all that. Let me see, am I still up? Looks like it. Okay, cool. All right, I can see myself. Yay, that's what I always wanted. So, we have been pretty good about staying home. We escaped to the car today to quarantine there. No, we went and had to get gas in one of the cars and went and got coffee and supported our local coffee place. It's our friends, did the drive-through there. So, yeah, other than that, we've been just hanging out at home, obviously, and trying to figure out what we're going to do next week once we're supposed to be doing online school kind of activities, since we're not officially doing online school in our district. So, I know this is a funny angle. I'm going to point you down in a minute. I'm not going to just sit and look up the whole time. But, yeah, I wanted to just get on and I want to make a wreath, and I got some new ribbon yesterday, so I wanted to play with it a little bit. So, and just kind of catch up, give everybody something different to look at maybe for a little while. So, anyways, and let me know how you're doing. Even my regulars, I haven't heard much from you guys lately, so I'm imagining everyone is just really busy and doing other things, and probably some people, if they're still working, are working some different hours. So, just checking in on everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to point you down and show you what I'm working with today. So, I'm going to hold on here. Bear with me for just a second. I'm going to jostle you for just a minute. Let's see how that looks in the end. Let's see. I think that's going to work. I think I can make that work. So these are the ribbons, some of them that I got yesterday. I've had this one for a while and have been dying to use it. So we're going to use it today. And then I got, I think, all of these yesterday. So I think this is so pretty. So I've been anxious to do something with this one. So this is what we're going to work with. I've already prepared my wreath frame here. I'm not loving how this is sitting. Hold on a second here. I really don't want you to see, all of my mess, but we'll make it work. And I have this thing in my window. Is that gonna, did that give more light maybe? Maybe not. This room is a disaster. It is just a disaster. So, okay, so this is my wreath frame. And I can show you real quick how I prepare this. Let me grab an extra one here. One that's not done yet. So I buy my wreath frames at the Dollar Tree because that works for me. So I'll just show you real quick kind of what I do. So this is just from the Dollar Tree. And then I take my pipe cleaners, and generally on a typical wreath, I use 18 pipe cleaners. I use 10 around the outer 2 rings and 8 on the inner 2 rings. There's some that I don't do that for, but not very often. So then I will just take my pipe cleaners, and you can buy these already done, but I really like, I like doing my own. They're cheaper, and it's just as good. So you put your pipe cleaner on the last 2 rings, and you're just gonna pull it tight and give it 2 twists. Okay, that's all you're doing. And you're gonna go about every 4 inches. So that'll give you evenly around 10 on your outside, and then you're going to do the same thing on the inside. You'll do your 8 around your inner 2 circles. And if you do those about every 4 inches, then it'll line up as well. So you kind of go over, so 13 to 17. So you have like just a little bit hanging from your the rest of your, I have a doggy or a kitty trying to get in here, from the end of your pipe cleaner. So just go about an inch from the end and do it again and go all the way around. So that is how I have done this one. So just a little quickie tutorial there. So then I have, this wreath actually is going to be one that's a little bit thinner than some of mine, and it's going to be able to fit between a front door and a storm door. So it's just a little bit thinner, like this way, you know, it's not as puffy. So I'm going to use, I've got all my mesh pre-cut, so I'm going to use this one and this one. These are the 2 meshes I will use on this wreath, because I love to go, sorry, I'm dropping things, with a more neutral mesh and then do, you know, my color in my ribbons. So this one for the outside ring, these are cut, this is a 10.5 inch mesh this way, and I've cut these at 10 inches. So, and I've cut 10 of each style, so 20 pieces of mesh. So for each tie, I'm going to use 1 of each. And you don't have to do this. You could use like a clip or a chip clip or something, but I like to use my little Bodabra for this. So this just will hold it. It's my extra little hand. So I'm going to just take this and roll this, and then I put it in here just to hold it for me. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this piece and roll this, crimp it in the middle, because you want this, you want the curl. And then I'll take it out and crisscross these. Push all these out of the way. They're just all in my way. So I'm going to turn these in just to get them out of the way. Put this between your outer ties, right in the middle. Pull it tight, twist, twist. Okay, and that's going to be the start of your, and that I let slip, so I'm going to fix this. Maybe I should get this back in the frame, you think? So I let that slide a little bit. So twist, twist. Okay, and there's your curls. And then you're going to just do that all the way around your wreath and all 10 of the outer ties. And then we're going to do a different one in the inner ties. So this is going to be our next. And we'll just go around. And then after we've added all of our mesh, we're going to go back and we'll do a bow and our ribbons. So I'm going to do this one a little differently. Sometimes I put the ribbons in with this, but I'm going to do this one a little differently because I'm trying to decrease the volume a little bit. I'm not going to do quite as much ribbon as I sometimes do. So just kind of, you know, curl it up, get your, get it set. And like I said, you don't have to have a Bodabra to do this. Oh, that is not the right mesh for this part. So that's another long one. Oops, did I do this opposite? Hold on a second here. Let me see what I did. I had all my mesh cut. There it is. There's the right one. There's the right one. Because we're going to use a different size mesh in the top rings. Okay, so this just helps me gather. But you could use a chip clip, like a binder clip. You could, I'll show you another thing you can do in just a second. You could take this and you could put it in. Sorry if I'm off the screen there. I was trying to push things out of my way. And just hold it in there. Rosie wants in. Rosie's She's not coming in. She doesn't like to not be able to see me if she knows where I am. And then just open it back up and put this one in. So you can do that. However works for you. I kind of make them kind of go crisscross into each other just so it covers up more space. And I'm not doing the same one on the bottom every time. I'm just doing whichever one I grab. You also can do this and hold on to it. Some of the mesh, this is a jute, is stickier, so it sticks to each other differently, and it's a little harder to do that and hold on to two pieces at the same time, but you can do it. It works. You just have to adapt to what works for you. I have this, like this magnet clip that I've used before. Whatever you have around that works for you is just fine. Okay. So, I'll go, oops, see, they're all sticking to each other. You know, I have my Blue-Dabber, why am I not just using it? So, then, do this one. Oh, I just caught my finger. Now that is going to catch on every piece. Hold on, let me fix this, or I'm going to have a mess. Always keep a nail file in your craft area. Believe me. Use it on your nails or use it on paper or whatever to get rough edges. It's a must in a craft room. To me, at least. I have them in all of my little craft areas because you never know if it's gonna need, the paper's gonna need it or I'm gonna need it for my fingers. I've used it for all sorts of things. Okay. And when you're just sitting down doing this, you can do it pretty quickly when I'm not just chatting my way through. I'm not talking a ton, but it's still, you know, it's different when you're just working away. I can bust out a wreath in probably about a half an hour from start to finish, even with the cutting, unless it's a bunch of different cuts. But if it's just all the same sizes and such through, I can do pretty well. I just sit and I turn a show or something on, or I turn my book on to read to me, and I just go for it. So it's kind of, it's relaxing to me, so that works. Okay, I don't think I'm going to put a sign on this one. I think that at least, unless when I get it done, I think it needs one. I think I'm going to leave this one as fairly basic. Just let the ribbon kind of do the talking, so to speak. But we'll see when I get it done what I think. So, all right, we have one more set after this, and then we're going to move on to the other layer, the upper row, so to speak. And some people like to start theirs on the top. I have always started mine on the bottom. That's how I initially learned, and I just can't not. It just doesn't make sense to me to do it any differently. So that's just always how I do it, but you do what works for you, most definitely. Okay, so this is our last set of curls for this layer. On, and then we are good to go on that layer. Okay, so that's our first layer. And as we work adding more stuff, it's going to fill in more of the gaps, but you can just kind of see how the curls sit in there. Okay, so then I've gone and I've cut the same mesh at, these at 20. Let me measure. Oh, maybe I cut them at 30. Yeah, these are 30. So I'm going to take these and I'm gonna make these into a ruffle. So what I do, I need a weight. So I've used this before for my weight too. So I just use this to hold it down. And I take this first edge and I just kind of tuck it a little bit. And then I go through and I just ruffle it. I just walk up it, up the center with my fingers, trying to, you know, stay kind of up the same line that I started with. Oops, I'm stuck on something. This is a very grabby, well, mesh in general is very grabby. It's picking up things as I go. So sometimes I use my phone as my weight or a pair of scissors or whatever. So that is my ruffle, okay? So that's gonna go, and we'll go back and trim these little ends off if we need. That's gonna go in one of these top ties. So I'm gonna just flatten it out a little bit to stick it in there right in the middle. Give it 2 good twists, and then I'll just kind of spread it. So that's what's gonna kind of fill in our holes. And I'm gonna alternate my 2 types of mesh going around. So we're gonna do the same thing. I like to tuck that raw edge under just a little bit to start it. I don't know if it makes a difference in the end, but it makes me feel better for some reason. And then this is just kind of weighting it down, this clip thing is, just so that I can walk up it easier. With my fingers, it's catching on my wreath though. So, walk up it. And this 30-inch gives you a really nice full ruffle. So I did this entire wreath. I didn't use 2 full rolls of mesh. It was not, I could do the math, but I haven't done the math. Because it's 8 pieces that are 30 inches and 18 pieces that are 10 inches. So I didn't use 2 full rolls. So we're just going to go around the rest of the way, alternating these. This one is one of my favorites. I love this little, they call this like the snowball design. I love it in, actually I love it in all the colors. I really love it in the jute, but at Christmas I love it in the white with the snowballs, and I love the red with the snowballs for Christmas and Valentine's Day. Oh, it's so cute. I love it. I just love it. I don't think I have it in any other colors right now. I'm looking around. Oops. Trying to see from my little gallery I've got going down here. I think it's just the white and red is all I've used it in. Yeah, I don't see anything else. And then this. Yeah, I don't see it in anything else, but I do love it. I don't have anything else currently with it. Let's put it that way. I do love it though, because it adds just that extra texture, and I love different textures. That's my thing. So we are about halfway now around this top. So let's get this back. Oops, this little clip is trying to jump around on me. Okay. Oops, it's kind of sticking to itself here. It is, like I said, it's a very grabby mesh. It really likes to stick to itself. But it also helps it, by doing that, it helps kind of to be able to manipulate it where you want it a little bit too, like make these kind of find each other and go where you want them to, like stand up if you want them to. Okay, so that was the stripe. Now we're going to go back to the snowball. Okay. So, whether you're watching live or on the replay, let me know. Have you been up to any crafty stuff? How are things going in your house? Everybody healthy? Do you have any projects you've been working on? We've been trying to get through all of the rooms in this house and get things cleaned out. We have some major piles to be donated. Kids are cleaning their rooms. Oops, I just got an Amazon delivery apparently. My Alexa just beeped. So yeah, my daughter that just moved back from school, she's been cleaning out her room to be able to, with the plan of living in it for several months instead of just dropping in. So we've been painting dressers and cleaning out rooms, and we got a storage unit because my son is moving his tools in so that he can work out of our garage out in his car. And it's just, there's been a lot of moving pieces around here lately. And when we started off this whole adventure, my husband and I both got the stomach bug, and so that was like, it's been quite an adventure the last 2 weeks. So I'm trying to decide what our 16-year-old's going to be doing, because we're out of school at least until April 28th. So just figuring all that out and getting workspaces set up so everybody has a place to work if needed. And so it's just a new way of life right now and trying to adapt to that. And I am used to having a lot of time home alone. So that's very different for me. And actually it's really been nice though, because there's a lot of nights that nobody is home by dinner time. And all 5 of us have been sitting down and having dinner together every night. And so that has been really nice. Our daughter who's home from school, she's here obviously. And so Em's been around, and Jeff's not usually home at night for dinner because he's on the soccer field. And Trevor has been gone for several months, but he's been coming home for dinner because it's free. And so it's been really nice. It's been all 5 of us and only the 5 of us. So it's been really nice getting some family time out of it. That's truly been the best part of all this, is we've been together a lot and getting good time, not just, hanging, but good quality time. And we're trying to create some schedules, and it's actually been, so far, I know there will be our moments, but so far it's been pretty good actually. So it might change in an hour, but nobody wants to attack each other yet or beat each other up, and so that's been good. So it's been pretty good. Taking the dog for a walk every night, which has been good for us and for her, so that's been nice. So but still making sure that we each get a little space. So it's been nice. Okay, so this is our last and the trickiest, just because the mesh wants to grab itself and each other. It's our last ruffle. Okay, so here is the base. I'm gonna cut this one off right now, of our wreath. All right, so now that this is done, to me comes the fun part. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna make a bow. Because I don't want this to be huge and puffy, let me show you a different one. So let me find an example of what I'm not gonna do. So here, this one here. Oops, I just dropped my hanger. This wreath in each tie has 2 ribbons, and it's got lots of poof to it. I don't want this one that I'm making to be as thick, as tall. So I'm gonna go back through each of the ties and only do 1 ribbon. And it's a really good thing to do too with maybe if you have a specialty ribbon or a more expensive ribbon that you don't want a ton, you don't want to use up all your good ribbon. Or you don't have as much or whatever. So what I'm going to do first though is, normally on a thicker wreath I would go through and I would just put the tails in every single tie. But with this wreath also with making it thinner, I'm going to do the bow first, and then the bow is going to cover up several of the ties. So instead of making that deeper, I'm going to just do the bow. I'm not going to do any of the ties, and then I will fill in around the wreath any of the ties that aren't covered by the bow. So hopefully that makes sense. So let's do the bow first. So we're going to get out, let's see, do we want a big puffy bow? No, we don't want a big puffy bow. That's what we're trying to get away from. So we're going to use the bow dabra. And I will tell you right now that sometimes when I use this, it's not the prettiest thing because I get a little, it works in the end, but I'm not the most exact with it. How about that? I guess you'll see. I'll have ribbon going everywhere in a minute, and then you'll understand what I'm talking about. So, getting a little, the heat just turned on and it's right under my feet, so I'm getting a little warm in here. So this is bow dabra wire. So I apparently don't remember how to work a rubber band. Okay. So it is a gold cord, but it's got a wire in it. So it will hold your bow really tight. So if you take it and fold it in half, just fold it in half and take the folded end, and I put it in front of me there, and then this is the tails. And I cut this one plenty long. I fold it under both sides. Oops, missed one. Fold them under and set it back down because I don't need that till the very end and I want it out of my way. So these are the ribbons we're going to use. Here, let me open all these up. They're all wired and I have different widths here. I have, this one is 2.5. This burlap one. I'm not going to use a ton of this because I don't want it to blend into my wreath. And with that jute, it's so similar to the same color. So this one is a 2.5. This one is a 2. This one's a 1.5. And I'm not going to use that burlap one in the wreath. I'm only going to use it in the bow. This one is a 2.5, and I just love this. I think that the pattern is really pretty. I hope it stands up like I want it to once I'm putting it in there. And then, oops. Oh my gosh, if you could see my desk right now, that's what I'm not showing you. And then I've got this one, which I think is so cute. It's really, really cute. So, I think, I'm trying to decide here. I think we're going to start with this one so that it is the one that pops off the jute. Sorry, I lost my word there for a second. So go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and chevron this end. Be sure you're not using your really good fabric scissors on a wired ribbon. Just a word of warning. And when I cut my mesh, I use a rotary cutter. So I use this baby. This is what'll get you your best edge, and it's just easy. It's quick. You can cut multiple layers. It's just quick. So we're gonna start with this. So let's see. I don't want that one. I don't usually measure, but I'll measure just as an idea here. So we're gonna do this is gonna be our back. So I've got the 16. So this is like about a 5-inch loop. That's what we're gonna do, is start with a 5-inch loop. And then twist it and push it down. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the same thing. 5-inch, 16 to 21, twist it and put it down. And this ribbon doesn't matter as much. That did not look like the same size as that one. We're gonna just make them match. How about that? And if you want to check them, if you pull them up like this, yeah, my measuring was off on one of them. Those are not equal, even though they're both supposed to be 5. So we're gonna just make them match. And then I want my bow to not just be like a bow. I want it to be round, kind of. So we're gonna take this and cut this off here, okay? And so I have kind of kind of have like an X going here. Okay. Then I'm going to go to, here, we'll do this one next. Give it some texture. And I'm not always, I'm going to switch it up here a little bit. I'm not always going to do loops. So with this one, let's see here. Let's go like, this one is not going to make, this is going to make a very stiff bow. So this one I'm going to actually, this is real burlap. This is real cottony burlap. It smells like burlap. I'm going to just do like a swatch of color here. So I'm going to kind of do this one like that. And you can always go back through and trim up your tails or whatever if you don't like how long they are in the end. I always cut them a little bit long. So now we're going to go to like our main ribbon. This is like the one I want to be my focal point. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to go opposite of where I already, that's too long, opposite of where I already have the tails going on this one, and do a similar kind of thing. See what I was saying? I'm not always the best at just preciseness with this. So I'm going to just do, and we're going to manipulate this a little bit more in a minute, like this. Okay, so we're going to trim this. I like this. This is a cottonier ribbon than I thought it was going to be, but I do like it. I'm struggling with my fingers apparently right now though. Okay, so then we're going to kind of, I want to manipulate this a little bit. Oops. I don't want to pull it out, but I want to manipulate it. Okay. Come on, fingers. Come on, fingers. Okay. So this is going to kind of give me a rounder shape to my bow in the end. So then I'll do that. And then with this one, we're going to do, trim this. I'm just trying to keep it so that, like, I don't want this one laying right on that. I want color and stuff between. So this one, we're going to do, too long, this, and we're just going to do a loop. We're not going to do a full bow. So then we'll cut this off. And I also have one other little thing. Oops. These scissors have about had it. Okay, hold on here. What did we do? This baby didn't stay twisted on me. Okay, so there's that. Okay, and then Bow Dabber comes with this little thingy. And you can kind of cram it down if it isn't staying while you're in between things. This one, am I making you crazy with my ribbon all over the place? Sorry if I am. I'm not a clean crafter. I'm a crazy crafter. So, we've got this one, and I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to figure out which way I need to turn it first. Oops, got to take this baby out first. That won't help us with our bow. That won't be pretty. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this. And try not to cut my finger while I'm on here, because I tend to do that sometimes, but I like to do that in the privacy of my own home. I don't like to do it with everybody watching me. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to do a couple more loops. Just to get, you know what, I want to put another piece of that burlap in, a smaller piece this time. I just kind of want to build this, and you know what, a lot of times when you're doing this, it isn't that pretty when you're looking at it until you get it on the wreath and you see it all being put together, and then it's like, oh yeah, and you really can manipulate it around and make it just how you want it. So I'm putting this on because once again, it's another piece of texture. Okay, stick that on there. And then we're going to kind of go back to some of this. I'm going to not do a ton because this one, Some of these are not a big spool, and I want to be sure and have plenty to make it around your wreath with it. So I'm going to do, and I don't want my, we decided we didn't want it to be too thick. So this isn't cooperating with it. My hands just don't, I think I had too much coffee. I need to stop doing that. That's part of sitting at home as I drink more coffee than I need to do. So, okay, there's that. Then we're gonna go, let's go back to this one and do just a little, we're gonna do just a loop. So I'm gonna just cut it. I don't want it to be too big. Trim this up real quick while I have it in my hand. And then we will do, I think we went on this side, yes. We will do this and this. And that'll give us another little loop. Okay. And then we're gonna do one more of the light pink. Let's see, that's pretty good. Making this up as I go. No, I think it's gonna be fun, and it's gonna have lots of textures and pretty. Let's see, how long is this roll? No, okay, so then this one, last time we did it, the tails were on this end and the loop was here, so we're gonna do it opposite this time with this one, so that it will kind of complete a bow, but on different layers. So I'm gonna twist it. I want that to be a little bit longer. Twist it, do a loop. I know right now it probably looks like a total mishmash, but it's gonna work out, I promise. I promise, promise. It's kind of a funky little bow. There's a name for this, I think, and I can't remember what it is right now, so I won't try. Okay. So then, okay, this is going to be our bow. I know it looks crazy. And you know, when you get it done, if it's not big enough in the back, I sometimes will make another bow and put it on the back to give it more oomph. But I don't want this one to be super thick. So now I'm going to push this down really good. Okay, we're going to pull the strings back out to center here. Okay, slide them to center. And then you're going to take the two tails and feed them into the loop. Okay, you see that? Feed them into the loop. Hold this down really good and pull this tight. Okay, and because it has the wire in there, you can pull it tight. And then pull it even tighter, kind of squish it down, pull it tighter, and then split these. And while you're doing that, you're pulling it tighter again. Wrap it around the back and tie a knot as tight as you can get it. Two knots. And then you've got your pile here, and it's not going anywhere. So then I do a little fluffing before I put it onto the wreath. I just want to kind of get an idea of where things are going here. But I do my main part in this one because it's got so many different things. I might be better off to put it on the wreath. But I'm just going to fluff it out a little bit. And this little loop will kind of cover up our wire there. And if you don't have wire, you can use a pipe cleaner or whatever. And you don't have to have one of these little bodabras to do this. You can do it just in your hand. I'm just not that what am I doing? I think I might have to put this on my wreath. I am not talented enough to do that, so this is what works for me. I didn't get the bow gene, that's for sure. My mother did not pass that on to me. She can make a nice bow just in her hand. I can't do that. So look at your wreath and see, sometimes, I know you can't see what I'm seeing right now, but sometimes there's a spot that looks a little bit thinner than another, and I just found it. So over here, it looks a little bit thinner. So that's where my bow's gonna go. I don't like to pick the prettiest part of the wreath to cover up. So right here, if you just go through your mesh and put your bow there and put your wires to the back and tie it around. You're going to tie it around one of the rings. And if it works and you have a crossbar to tie it to, I like to do that. Just because it can't slide at all that way. So hopefully, let me make sure that's what I want it. Yep. And you don't want to like tie it so tight because that's going to pull it into the mesh, and you want it to sit on top a little bit. So I like to just kind of go, like, I don't pull harder. I don't pull it past tight. I just kind of go to tight. Does that make sense? And I'll come back and trim that off later. Oops. I'm grabbing ribbon here. So then I can go through and fluff this out. So just start spreading out your loops and tails. I'm going to stand up so that I can see this better. So that they're kind of opposites, and you have, you know, you just want all the colors to show. So you're not getting the best look here. I have the shadow coming in because the right here is my window, and it doesn't always create the best lighting for this, but we're gonna go with it. That's the back side. Okay, so yeah, once you get it all spread out, it takes a bit, you know, you just play with it, try to get things opposite each other a little bit. And I honestly go back and play with it quite a bit once it's hung up on the wall, and it looks different once it's hung up. And so I want to bring this and this, and I just want all the little pretties to show. That's just my goal, is to make everything pretty out there show. I want all my pretty ribbons. I spent the time and money on them, and I want them all to show. So I don't want anything hiding. They all add to it. And then kind of as you're going through, I kind of do this to kind of curve the tails under. And like I said, you're going to manipulate this so many times. And see how this isn't showing real well? That's why I didn't want to do a ton of that. So I'm going to take this and put it behind that a little bit, just to pop it up, give it some color around it, because it doesn't show real well on this wreath. It covers up nicely, covers holes and stuff, but it doesn't show real well. So I just kind of go through and give it a little curl here and there. And it's going to get a little bit messed up as I continue to work with it and add the other ribbons. So there'll be more fluffing as I go too, and as I finish it. So I'm going to kind of, where's this one coming from? Right there. I just want to separate similar colors a little bit. I don't want like all of one color to be on the same side. Okay, and then I'll try not to be quite so compulsive about this for a minute. Okay, so now we're going to figure out how many, sorry, I got a little bit of a runny nose. I want to figure out how many ribbon tails I need. So I'm going to go and I'm going to count. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I only took out the need for 2, it looks like. So I'm going to set this to the side. And then, let's see here. We're going to cut our ribbon tails. So if I have 4 ribbons, that's perfect. And I need 16. So I cut these in 12-inch segments. So my mat is 24. So I need 2 widths, oops, oh, there we go, of each ribbon. Okay. So this is a 24-inch strip. I'm going to fold this in half, and then in half length and widthwise. Okay, and chevron that. And then I'll cut these apart by chevroning them. Okay, so there's my two 12-inch tails. So I need 4 of each ribbon because I'm not going to do the jute. So fold this in half and cut these. And cut these. And you know, you can also do a second bow on there, but which I do sometimes, but with this one being one that I want to be thinner, I don't want to do that this time. I'm trying to do just a basic wreath that someone that has a storm door can hang, because that's part of the problem with some of these wreaths is if you have a storm door, you can't fit a wreath between, well, you can, but it gets all squished. So some people just don't want to squish the wreaths, and I get that. So especially with these ones that have the curls, they tend to stand out more. If you do one that's just poofs, then they flatten a little bit differently, but the curls, they just don't look as pretty if they are squished. So anyways, okay, so this is this ribbon now. So we've got our stripes and our buffalo plaid pink. Okay, so those, we're going to set those aside. And then we're going to go to our floral. It's the same thing. So there's our 24. I'm anxious to see how this ribbon stands up in it because, like I said earlier, it's a cotton one. I think it'll be okay. It has enough substance to it. I think it'll be fine. But sometimes some of the satin ribbons, they don't like to listen. They kind of get lost. And some of the cheaper ribbons, they like to kind of curl around the wires and not stand up quite as well. But I think this one has enough substance that it's going to be good. Okay. Isn't that just so cute? I just love that. I love it, love it. All right. So, and then I've been dying to use this turquoise gingham that we're using with the lace down the middle. I bought it to do some Easter stuff with, and then it didn't work with what I had originally thought, and so I'm very excited to get to use it with this. I also have this floral in a navy that I'm going to be working with. Oopsies. It's about time for some new scissors. And so I'm excited to play with that too. And then I got some black and a black stripe one that, oh gosh, I just got some fun ribbon. And I kind of leopard print. I'm trying to figure out exactly how to use it to its the best of its ability, so to speak. I want it to be really cool. So I'm trying to decide what to do with that. So I've got all sorts of little matching projects I'm trying to come up with. I had Emma down here helping me earlier come up with some matches, and it's so funny because we have very different styles, Emma and I do, but it's fun to see what she would choose to put with things versus what I would choose to put with things. So, okay. So we are almost there. Then we're gonna stack these up. So normally I would do 2 in each tie. So I would normally do twice this many ribbon, obviously. Twice this much ribbon, obviously. Oh my goodness. And match them up. But this time we're not going to do that. I got all sorts of little bits here and there. So we're going to lay all these out and decide what kind of order. It doesn't matter quite as much since we're putting them in individually, but kind of what kind of order we want. So I think that we are going to do, I don't really want ever my turquoises to be next to each other. So I think that that's what I'm going to do, is this order. So I'm going to lay them out. Actually, we'll go this way because there's room over here. We're going to go like this and lay them out so they're ready to go. And I'll just pull the next. glue on down. And then I'll just be able to just grab the next ribbon and it'll be perfect, right? Perfect is good. Let's see. Can't tell if this has a front and back or not, so we'll look at it in a minute. Okay, so these are all ready to go. Oops, I'm knocking things over, so bear with me here. Okay, so then we've got our wreath back, okay? So, I'm gonna keep fussing with that, but I gotta stop. Okay, so I'm gonna just start right here. I think this was the first. Rosie wants to say hi. Let's see, did I count that? I can't remember if I counted that one or not. I think I did. Okay, we may end up cutting an extra ribbon because I can't remember. Okay, so what we're gonna do is take your ribbon, fold it in half. You don't have to crease it. I sometimes do, right on that wire. Open it back up, and then right across the middle, we're gonna gather it. And then take your hand and kind of give it its little birdie tail here. And we're gonna put it in to the tie, right in the middle. Put it right in the center. You're not opening it back up, you're just setting it right on top. And twist, twist. And then that's your tie, your tails. That's your ribbon tails. And then after we're done, we're gonna come back and we'll trim all those out. So I'm gonna do that all the way around. I'm gonna start on the bottom row. Take my next ribbon, fold it in half. Right in the middle, gather it up. And put it right back down in the center there of the next tie on the bottom row. Twist, twist, and kind of give it a little fluff. Okay, and then to the next. And like I said, we'll come through after we're all done and trim up the, cut out the extra pipe cleaners. If it was one that didn't show, you could totally leave them, but these ones will show. So just continue to go all the way around. And sometimes I actually use the pipe cleaners sometimes I'll get them on there and I won't like the angle they're sitting at. And so I'll take the pipe cleaner and feed it back through to kind of pull this up a little bit if I want, but I think I'm gonna be okay on this one. So I think we'll just trim them out. Yeah, see this ribbon right here is being a little less cooperative. Okay, but it's gonna sit in there just fine. And like I said, I'll keep coming back and fussing with it a little bit. So, and we got our floral. Put it in there the same. I think it's gonna be really pretty. I'm excited for this wreath. When I saw this ribbon online the other day, I've been thinking about it ever since and trying to figure out what to do with it that was the best. So, let's keep going around. And then, so we're back to the beginning with our ribbons. Put that in there. This one actually does a really nice job. This is kind of a grosgrain. This stripe ribbon, it's just a real soft grosgrain. And they sit pretty nicely. Okay. Yeah, you just want them to have life. Like I said, I'm trying to think of which ribbon. Which one? There was one that was a lot of times the cheaper ribbons, they don't do as well, unfortunately. So you need that little bit better quality a lot of times. Okay, so this little guy needs to cooperate a little bit. My curls need to fit in there a little differently, but we'll make it work when it's all done. Oh my goodness, I got stuff everywhere. Okay. So, I don't like how this one cut. This one. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist at funny times, but that one's
when my ribbon isn't perfect, I'm a perfectionist. So, gotta fix it. Okay, so we will finish up this row. Got a couple more. So, let's see. I think I might end up cutting more ribbon. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not gonna jump to it yet, but we'll see. I might want more behind my bow than I originally counted, but we'll make it work. It just gives it, once again, more texture and dimension, but without, I know, I don't want dimension because I want it to be a thinner lined thing, but I do want it to be pretty. I don't want it to not be colorful. So, because that's me. I love the color. Love it, love it. Okay, I'm going to I'm going to do this one, and then I'm not going to do any more behind that. I'll go to the next layer, and then we'll see what we think. And you'll be able to hopefully see what I'm doing a little bit better on that top layer. I know it's not real easy from this angle. Okay, so we're going to go back over here, and we're going to start with this one. But you know what? Let's see. I want to put these in a different order because I don't want this is when I get a little compulsive. I'm going to put those behind, and I'm going to go to this one next just to maybe offset the pattern a little bit. We'll see. I might end up matching along the way because the ties aren't equal all the way around, but it just sometimes, for whatever reason, makes me feel better starting different. Kind of silly that way. So, put some color here. At least start the line up different. I'm just, like I said, I'm kind of compulsive that way sometimes. There it is, my end. So, but how did I do that? What did I do? I don't know. I'll figure it out. Oh my gosh. See, I overthink it, and then, oh no, I know what I did. I'm fine. I overthink it, and then I feel silly because it's like, why do I need to I don't need to overthink it. I don't need to do that. Okay, just ignore me. I totally overthink it. Okay. So far, I'm good. Such a dork. Okay. And I know you're not going to be able to see this whole thing in the shot, so as soon as I'm done, I will go ahead and hang it, fluff it out, and post some pictures because it's hard to get the whole thing in the screen how I have it set up. So I promise I will get pictures done. And then I'm going to get it up on my Etsy shop right away too. So I'll take pictures for that. So I'm running out of space. I keep making things I love, and I'm running out of space. I'm kind of a crazy wreath making fool. But I love it. And hey, my house is always very well decorated with seasonal and holiday decor. I just like making stuff. It's fun. So, you know, it works for me. Okay, so, see, that's what I did. Pink, blue, I need another pink one. I need to cut another pink stripe. That's what I need. Yeah, that's what I need next. That's what I need. So let's see if I end up needing one up here. I think I want one. So I didn't end up eliminating too many with my bow. Because, let's see, so over here, yeah, I'm going to put these in over here, and then I'm going to cut one more pink stripe, and that'll be it. Not too bad. I'm going to put these in back here. That'll give me a little bit more, well, at least this one, maybe. Oh yeah, it's just going to be the one. give me a little bit more. It almost looks like it adds to the bow a little bit. Like it's a bow tail almost. Don't need one there. So I think I'll just, well, I have this one cut. I'll just use it. And then I'll cut one more pink stripe. This one is the other half of the one I messed up, I think. I'll cut one more of the pink stripe, and then that'll be it for the tails, and we'll go back through and trim it out. And I think we will be set. I love these colors. I love them. I think it's really pretty. It's a really pretty springy, summery. It would be great for Mother's Day. It'd be a great little gift. Be great for Mother's Day. Great, you know, whenever. It'd be cute, like in a bedroom, in a master, or in a girl's room, or it'd be a cute little nursery. Gosh, it'd be cute for a lot of different things. Okay, let me cut one more piece of ribbon. We just need a 12 this time. So, good thing we didn't need more because there was only one more piece left. All right. So, cut this, and then we'll go back through and cut out all the pipe cleaners. So this one needs to go up here. It's kind of funny. Originally when I did it with the floral being the kind of the focal ribbon was my thought, but it's kind of turned into because the stripe is so bright, it's more the focal ribbon, but that's okay. I think it's still pretty. It just is, you know, it's funny how things just turn out differently than you have in your brain, but it's still okay. So, okay, now we are going to take my wire cutters here, and I'm going to go through, and I'm going to just give all the ties 2 more twists, and then cut it off, okay? And here, I'll do a top one so you can see what I'm doing. You don't have to watch me do all this. I'll do a top one real quick. Okay, you see this one. So this one, I'm going to give it 2 more twists. 1, 2. I'm going to cut off right above my last twist. So I've got those. And then I'm going to tuck it under. And I'll push up the ribbon so you can't even see. Once this all gets pushed back to where it belongs, because it's all kind of pushed apart right now, then you can't even see the pipe cleaner. So twist, twist, clip it off, and bend it. You can bend it either direction, whichever direction shows less. It just depends sometimes. Then pop this back, fluff it a little bit, and you're good to go. So I'll do one more here, and then you don't have to watch me do all this. I can do the rest off camera. So that is the accomplishment of a wreath, according to me. So that is how I make my wreaths. So I will go back and I'll fluff all this out. I will finish cutting all of the ties off, and I will post some pictures. But let's see. Let me see if I can pop you up here a little bit. Hold on here. Let's see. So this is my beauty. And it measures, let's see, from widest to widest points, it's 23 inches. I have my ruler in here, but I don't. Let's see if I can figure out how tall it is, how deep it is. Let me see. Let's see what we can do here. From the wreath form, let's see, it's about 6 inches deep. So that's where it sits. So, and this form, I think it's a 14
14? Yeah, it's a 14-inch wire frame. So you gain about, depending upon the technique you use with your mesh, you gain anywhere from like 10 to, probably 10 to 13 inches. I think my biggest one I've done on this size of frame, I think I got it to almost 25 inches. But that was a pretty fluffy, froofy kind of one. So anyways, okay, I'm going to go clean this thing up, clean up all the ties, look at it hanging, and take some pictures, and I will show you. So thanks for joining me. I hope you guys are all doing really well in this crazy life we're living right now. Hope you're finding some positives, because I know it's hard. I know it's hard for some. I hope you're finding some positives. I hope that your family and your friends and your faith are keeping you going, and I hope you're healthy. I know that my family, friends, faith, health, that's all what's keeping us going. So hang in there. Do something fun. Make sure you're getting some time for yourself, even if you're locking yourself in the closet for 10 minutes just to get a breather by yourself. So do something for you. If you like to do creative things, it's so good for you. It is a saving grace for me a lot of times. So I really enjoy it. You don't have to be good at it. If it's something you enjoy to do, do it. Journal, whatever you like to do. If there's something in particular you'd like to see me do, please let me know. I always am good with more things. Give me ideas. What do you want to see? I've got lots of things I can do around here. So like I said before, I'm a paper crafter, so I got some of that going on, doing some classes with that. If that's an interest to you, let me know. I'll send you a link of some things we're doing over there. So hang in there. Enjoy your time with your family that I hope you're all getting. If you're working really hard trying to keep us all afloat, thank you very much. So I will be back, but let me know what you think about this and if you have any questions. So, alrighty? Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.